well, another day. Um, Wanted to share some things that I'm starting to be very self-aware of in myself, and that's the more I see that needs to be done, the less I do anything. It's just so paralyzing, and um, while everybody's seeing the world all collapse and everything, and I really really want to get back working. I want a change in my lifestyle now, but I know I gotta enjoy my lifestyle. The pressure is just that I know my daughter needs to move out and I need to increase my level of income so I can find another place to live. So there is a little bit of pressure that I do need to attract um, something more in my life. And I'm seeing that there's so much opportunity. It's like everybody wants to change everything about who they are instantly right away, and that just is not going to happen. Um, our money system is pretty corrupt. There's a lot of really big bad shit going on, but there's a cause to everything. And if we worked at those causes instead of trying to change everything instantly, it's really hard to describe what I'm seeing people think change needs to be. Um, the best, easiest way, I guess, to say it is Bruce Lee said it best: when you're the strongest when you go with the energy and not against it. And we're seeing that money is the root of all evil, and money, money, money is bad, and all of this crap. And it's like, no, don't even look at money as being a problem. There's an underlying cause, how we treat and value money, where stuff comes from, how we make sure everybody else has money. Do you think you need to have more money than somebody else has to have money? So it's not like you have to get rid of money and come up with a completely new system. A new system will be created if you change the way you value it. um, there are solutions to this that this will not make any sense to somebody who's studied economics. You'll be in such a tunnel vision that you don't even see the causes that created it. So naturally, when a solution shows up, it won't make any sense to you. But it is like if every one of us just sort of focused on recognizing what the problems are, and if there's problems, then there's solutions. That means we need to get to work unfolding all of these solutions. Most of it is in our mindset. So I'm seeing so much potential that I could do to earn a living, but there's so many ideas. That's the part with like ADHD, and you can do these surveys and say, do you have a problem with your attention? Does your mind wander all the time? Well, hell, if you get so many great ideas all the time, your mind's going to wander. And then you add up into everybody wants you to read their shit, um, junk mail is all I can say, or answering machines, or like if I'm not there, that means I'm busy. So that this is what I see an answering machine is like all of my day is completely filled up, and an answering machine is like, I wasn't able to fit that little piece of data in that time frame, so I stored it to look at it later. Now, if everybody wanted to contact you all at once and left you a message, when do you have time in your day to go back and read everything and make sure that you responded to everybody? Because if you read something, if somebody leaves you a message and you don't respond, it's very offensive and you cause others pain. So that's why I don't even have an answering machine, because if I don't get back to you, I know it'll cause you pain. Or if there's any kind of confusion with the message, it causes pain. So I don't take messages anymore. And it's just one of those small little things that in my life I can't handle anymore. And we think it's a small deal, but when you get volume, and nobody understands volume, nobody understands the volume one person can be dealing with. You will only judge other people that they only have to listen to the messages you receive in your life. And if your life is manageable, you assume everybody else's life is manageable. But some of us have way too much junk mail to read. Um, and it escalates if you have 4 kids and they all have, go to school. That was one that drove me crazy. It's 4 kids. They all have like at least 4 teachers, so 4 times 4 is 16. All of those 16 people had some notes to send home to read or some homework, and it's like, you guys friggin' nuts? You think that I can do your job? You get paid to do your job. Don't send notes home and tell me that I need to teach my kids your lesson plan. But everybody has these expectations on you, and nobody knows that everybody else is doing that to you, and it starts to get overwhelming that you have way too much to do. You don't know what direction to go into. And then they end up coming up with these questionnaires saying, do you have problems with your attention? And it's like, okay, you're going to now create a society where you're going to put so much stimulus. I mean, everything is stimulating. Everything that comes into your life, you have to respond to it. And then you're going to have a health issue and blame you. So this is the kicker when I see a doctor that writes an article that says, beware, don't listen to people that have any advice dealing with ADHD, and basically put me on the list that I should never, nobody that's got ADHD should ever listen to me. My experiences, everything that I've learned about ADHD, you shouldn't listen to me, you should listen to that doctor. And that doctor is selling medication. And he's observing his reality from his bias. He needs to make a living, needs to feed his kids, so I understand his motivation, but he needs to sell pills. I mean, what better way, in how many ways can I make a lot of money off watching people not be able to pay attention to something? Never look at why people are not being able to pay attention to anything. Only look at the idea that people can't pay attention to it. Let me turn something off in their brain so that they can better handle it a lot better, which will cause a lot of stress, which stress kills. It will manifest in a million other different health issues. So if you put somebody on ADHD on medication that just suppresses the reality of being able to handle the stress of all that data coming in, it's still never going to solve anything, because the problem of giving one person too much data at one time is never going to be stopped. It's going to increase. So no matter what kind of medication you're going to put somebody on, they're never going to cure that experience of it. They're going to say, well, medication just sort of makes it feel a little better, so it's not so distressing to you, but you're still going to have the same behavior that's going to stress you out even more. So the medication will cause you health issues. They all have health issues. They'll solve one problem, but it'll cause something in another area. But then the stress is still going to be there. So it's going to, you're opening yourself up to so many more health issues by not facing the causes. And so that's where I'm at right now. It's like, what direction do I go into? And it's like, then I got the pressure of just um, my kids now wanting to go and see doctors for ADHD and take medication for it, and I have a different opinion. So the conversation isn't going so well. People make assumptions and say words they don't mean when they're all upset, and I'm the target of that because they're all upset. And they just don't want to listen to anything to do with what I've got to say about ADHD. They want to go to doctors that are saying, don't listen to me. So that's where it's like, okay, now I've got to go into these doctors and say, I've got an issue with you saying that nobody should listen to me. Why would you say something like that? So that's on my mind. And it's like these are people that want me to get back to work, and yet they put it this as if they think that this isn't going to play on my mind. Like, but that's where the healing begins. Is it's not my business, like just focus on the bigger picture of what it is I want to do, and if they're all got their issues, at least they're on their own search and they'll find their own way, and to just be as loving and peaceful and try not to respond in anger. So that's what I'm working on. I find myself paralyzed for the last few days while doing that. And then I'm getting else other ideas. It's like, oh, ADHD, and you want to be labeled with that, okay? Because I've been just looking at the with my family issues. It's I haven't been diagnosing and labeling everybody with illnesses. I just don't agree with it. So, but it's still there's issues there that I've been trying to point out that hey, there's ways that we can um, beat this. Um, so but if the deal is that people want to label it with ADHD and want information, and everybody's saying that they don't want to listen to me, maybe I should start a little school, because from what I'm seeing, a lot of people with ADHD, it's a talent. It's like you're a singer and you don't know how to sing, and you're just in development. You're like that new mindset that can solve the problems of today, but you've got this tool that you don't know how to use. And if you went into sort of like a school and developed your skills, then it's like graduating from the school of geniuses. So that's like, okay, there's another idea. I could start up a school and start teaching people. Um, this bottle concept, I'm talking with Trevor about that. That's still always in the back of my mind. There's lots of things I could do with that, but um, that's the challenge is you get one good idea after another good idea. The good ideas never stop rolling. The thing is nobody wants a good idea. We're all going to bitch and complain about the world's falling apart. We all want a different direction, and it's like, okay, if a good idea crossed your path, what would you do with it? Are you all just as paralyzed as me that you know that there's shit you should be doing, but there's so much you should be doing that you're just paralyzed? So every day I just keep thinking, okay, I'm going to try a different routine and get on this and try and stay focused. I can probably accomplish something if I don't let the universe interfere in my life, but somebody will give me new information that'll pop up. Here's another good idea. But if I didn't even communicate with anybody and just focused on one thing, I could get one thing accomplished. But the ideas just keep changing and changing and changing to the point where I don't know what the hell to do. Even this book, there was another idea, but that didn't work out. A few issues came up with that as well. Computer broke down. Sometimes it's just take a break and let life happen and see what happens. So something's brewing because there's a lot of really great ideas. Um, Looking for that tribe that wants to actually, help feed off something and get something accomplished. I would like to see something accomplished, and I'm not seeing that yet. Anyways, there's my update. Peace out.